All right, cool.
All right. Didn't even get like ear destruction levels of sound, so that's good to hear. So we are headed into Cap Kingdom, Trobbin versus Sledge. A lot on the line here.
And yeah, both of them so far with only 103s actually. Trobbin, as I already said, only with one race. Sledge with two 103s so far. So yeah, I don't know. I think a 103 might not be enough today to win this race because I think at least one player will do better than that.
Yeah, definitely likely. Steph's guy in the chat might have to go on a bit of a tirade in the Discord later on. Got neither player using the plugin, which is quite unfortunate. Sledge taking a pretty fierce bonk on the lantern here at the start of the match. And an early cutscene skip. Oh, I went diving the wrong way. Sledge needs to get it together.
Trobbin,
That is
Trobbin with
unfortunate.
an up throw there. Oh, also interesting.
Yeah, so a little bit of spaghetti. Perhaps some rust,
I think
as you were alluding to earlier.
it's always interesting to see how people perform kind of under pressure, if you can call it like that today. I mean, like, races are always a little bit of pressure, but this one especially, I guess, because there's a lot on the line. So yeah, let's see if nerfs might be a thing today.
Yeah, starting out, Sledge looking a little bit shaky, but I mean, we see that a lot of times in matches where players will start out a little bit shaky and then they'll get it together near the mid game. So that last match with Cars having a pretty shoddy early game and then getting things together. Especially if players haven't been warming up much. I know Sledge was a little bit late on the setup, could have potentially just sat down at the computer, just gotten his first little warm-ups in with the snow dram. So definitely something to consider as well, how much each player has had to prepare.
Yeah, for sure. But looking better now, both of them getting left side and getting a clean topper fight. And yeah, a few seconds difference, but nothing big. Still easily recoverable.
Yeah, for sure. I didn't get a look at the prediction. What's the prediction looking like? Let's see. Did I even check that afterwards? Oh yeah, there we go. 62 to 38%. Lots of Sledge supporters in the chat room. We got 17.5 thousand for Sledge. A little over 10k on Trobbin.
Yeah, interesting.
That's always a very big race impactor. The chat support. It does matter.
Yeah, it's just like... I'm gonna make like a sports reference now, and nah, I don't know. Like you always say, like the home team is the better team in sports. So the team which has like more supporters on their side, I guess.
Yeah, there's no such thing as a home field advantage really on, online racing for speedrunning, but chat support does help. I mean, I don't know if you've ever been in a tournament race and had people cheering for you in the chat, but like that's a confidence booster and a half for sure. Like just knowing that your friends are chilling in the chat, like supporting you is huge, honestly.
Yeah, true. I think even read Trobbin. Trobbin said something like he put all of his points on Sledge, I think. So that's I don't know. That might also make the difference here. I don't know.
I think both racers voted for each other then, because I know, no, yeah, they did. So, I mean, that's an interesting dynamic for sure.
I mean, yeah, it depends who had more points, I guess. No DSS, obviously, from either of these runners. Let's see, I don't think they attempt chest flip right now. They don't. At least they haven't attempted chest flip so far in this tournament.
I'm tempted to make a joke in reference to Sledge's comment in the chat about them both getting 130s and say they could get even like 2 hours because we have no matches after this, but then thinking back to previous matches we've had in the tournament, I don't really want to...
Yeah, I don't know.
Encourage that.
Like, I don't really have like a anything to do after this, but I didn't really plan to commentate for 2 hours today. So I'm not sure if I'm down for that.
I think
Also,
go ahead, sorry.
now also, like if we actually see 2 hours of gameplay, it's probably not the best gameplay we've seen. So
Oh no, it would be an absolute disaster. It would have to be another 45-minute 2DSS exhibition.
Yeah, exactly. It would just be memeing. They could both do just like
I was pretty invested in the Dilly P's pizza delivery versus 2DSS success rate race. I think that was a very good dynamic. Could definitely bring that back. As both players are wrapping up Cascade Kingdom here. I already did Cap. Little bit of an extended lead for Trobbin. Definitely widening the gap here.
Yeah. But now into Sand Kingdom, and I think actually Sand Kingdom has been pretty bad for both runners. At least for Trobbin. For Sledge it has been okay. But yeah, Trobbin got like a 5:14 in his first race. So Sledge might catch up here. We'll see.
That's why I'm glad to have Lupus in the booth. I am so like, even with like games that I run a lot, like split times, I'm like completely oblivious to. It's always good to have somebody in the stats booth or in the comms booth with me that actually knows the numbers.
Well, yeah, that's just, I guess, experience, and I'm also pretty active in like PTT communities and stuff like that, so
yeah, that definitely helps.
Don't know. I mean, I also have a 1 or 2, I guess, so I also know some split times, at least for me. Have you been running recently, by the way?
SMO?
Yeah.
I haven't ran SMO. I haven't even done like an SMO run. I think since I raced Thera one time, I forced Thera to race me. That was like 2 months ago.
Well, you should. You should. This game is not fun, but it's a game, right?
That was the biggest endorsement I've ever heard in my life. You should run the game. It's not fun.
I mean, it's true, right?
I have fun when I run this game. I take it very, very little like amount of seriousness. Personally, I like playing this game as like, I don't know, I kind of picked it up as like, alright, this game is really easy to pick up type of thing. Because like, you don't really need to know a lot in order to do a run in this game. You just need to roughly know the route, like know where to run, and then you're like pretty much good to go. Other than like other any percents where it's like, alright, you gotta learn how to do this frame perfect clip through a wall or else you're losing 25 minutes.
Yeah, I don't know. For sure, this game is super cool to get into, super easy, but hard to optimize. And once you get to like a level these runners have, it starts getting pretty dry. I don't know. I think we all love this game, but it's just speedrunners, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it's any game gets to a certain optimized point and it gets really, really difficult. And I don't know, I don't want to say every game, but pretty much like a large majority of even like not that popular speed games. I know I run a game called Jet Force Gemini, which has like 8 runners or 7 runners or something on the 80% board. And I'll see people all the time come in the community like, oh man, I'm gonna start running this game and I'm gonna get the world record. And then they attempt one run and then they like don't even finish. And they're like, just kidding. Like, how did you get that time?
Like, actually, these small communities are really interesting because often you can't really tell how optimized world records are in these communities because you're not really sure. Like, even in a small community, there could be a runner who puts in like thousands of hours, but it could also be like the other way around where you just, I don't know, have like 10 runners and all of them have played the game for like 10 hours maybe.
Yeah.
So the world record won't be very optimized.
Yeah, both these players look pretty optimized in sand though. I mean, we saw 2 reverse Jaxies. I think it was Trobbin going for some interesting grabbing the bullet build to get over to the box movement. I'm not really sure what caused that. Perhaps some sort of a mishap earlier on. But yeah, sync here.
With the synced regular ground pound, that was cool. Because usually runners go for a spin pound there on that level.
Oh, the one throw note actually coming in clutch here for Trobbin, securing the lead. You don't really see a direct side-by-side comparison of just how much time that saves, but it does save a decent chunk of time there.
Yeah, it saves around a second, or maybe 2, depending on your backup. But yeah, definitely Sledge catched up the sand for sure, but still slightly behind. But it's a really close race, so couldn't be any better.
Look,
Next
Troy,
win.
all right. I was talking about stats numbers, and Lupus is very knowledgeable about the stats numbers. If I have to compare, I don't like to compare people side by side. If I had to say who has more stats knowledge in SMO, Lupus or Troy, I'm gonna take the one who actually runs the game actively,
Troy.
Troy.
I think. I don't know. I've spent way too much time on this game, and actually, I will explain that later. We will get to a point where I'm just working on something, and it's pretty dumb. But more about that later.
Yeah, we do have a pretty hot race in our hands here. I mean, heading into Lake Kingdom, just mere seconds apart. It would be hard to say more than 2 seconds of a difference here at this point. As Trobbin taking a dive into the water here, gonna have to back it up with the cap bounce.
Getting it. Oh, getting up. But turning the camera up can actually be helpful there, because okay, it worked. But sometimes Cappy just doesn't want to home into stuff which is not on screen, and therefore I should always kind of turn the camera upwards there. At least that's what I've experienced in the past.
Yeah, definitely something worth keeping in mind. Sledge having some trouble getting that late clip there. Looks like Trobbin made up a tiny bit of ground there, but obviously losing a sizable amount of time diving into the water earlier.
Lake clip, a really precise corner clip. Can easily lose you a few seconds or even a run. Not a race. I mean, it could also lose you a race, but you won't reset there.
Oh yeah, definitely not. I don't think we've seen anybody just straight up forfeit a match yet in the tournament. Like, that's ongoing.
Yeah, that's great.
Which is pretty awesome.
Is there like punishment for forfeiting?
I mean, you lose the race. I mean, if you continually forfeit races, we're probably gonna be like, yeah, no. Like, next time you sign up, but yeah, there's no like written document.
Okay. Yeah, I think we I think we added a rule last year to the league that if you forfeit twice or something, that you will be banned for the next league or something.
Yeah. It's hard to keep like hard, rigid rules like that though, especially since like there's a difference between if you like forfeit a race that's ongoing and like your house is on fire and like, you know, like you're just mad because you missed late clip or something.
Sure.
Everything with a grain of salt. As Sledge is ahead here in a lake, so a little bit of back and forth here early on in the beginning kingdoms. But we are getting into the meat and potatoes here. Wooded Kingdom. Lots of opportunities for time loss here.
Yeah. Especially the biggest one probably being Nut Clip, which saves around 20 seconds. A trick that you can only attempt once since it's a moon clip. Which uses the moon spawning animation, basically. Or moon grabbing animation. To clip out of bounds. So yeah, missing that loses around 20 seconds.
Yeah, and there's always the forbidden deep woods.
Yeah, deep woods. Actually, if people are experienced with deep woods, there are probably actually some good backups there. You can grab some moons there actually, but you will still lose quite some time, and most people don't really know what to do there. I wouldn't know either, to be honest. Like, if I fall down there, I reset, and since I I never pretty much race, or rarely race.
Oh my gosh, Sledge is having a complete and colossal meltdown here, trying to make it up to the Tree Moon, and just like that, giving up the lead again. Another lead swap here. Very nice back and forth so far. That is a good point in the chat room Mats brings up. There were a couple of races actually where someone got IRL'd in a pre-recorded race, but it's hard to say whether or not that would have happened if it was live.
Looking good for Trobbin. And Sledge looking really good as well. Now let's have a look at the out of bounds. Trobbin opting to move the camera upwards there for an easier... Oh, and Sledge going for the long jump. And gets it. That's actually a pretty advanced strat. But some people say it's not too bad, so... But yeah, impressive to see. It's quite risky. It's easy to clip back and bounce there, and if you clip back and bounce there, you have to warp back to the Odyssey. So that would be dramatic.
Also, to answer Cool Cade's question, I don't know if you're memeing, but we're not going to air a match where both players basically quit in Lost Kingdom. It'd be kind of silly. Like 20 minutes of gameplay and then just nothing. Guess we could have a nice little community discussion for the last 40 minutes or something. Oh, true.
Right, flower skip coming up now for Trobbin. Looking good. Sledge also getting the triple jump, which might be the hardest part on that railing. Oh, and the insta nut. That's actually pretty rare. It happens when you hit the nut on the same frame that you start your roll. Like, your first bonk frame is the same frame, like, and that was really close, yeah. Your first bonk frame is the same frame like your first rolling frame, pretty much.
Yeah, it almost felt like Sledge wasn't going to land on the cap or just immediately bonk the wall without even being able to bounce, but luckily avoiding death there would have made it a lot bigger of a gap than it is now. I mean, we're, what, 3 or 4 seconds apart here?
Yeah, still super close. Oh, going far right here, Sledge. Shouldn't be an issue, but obviously not really fast if you have to kind of cap dive back first. Oh, and also with the up throw strat here. Actually looking really cool. And now Trobbin heading into flooded pipeway first. Just on a fixed cycle. So if you miss the cycle, you lose about 7 or 8 seconds, and Sledge missing the cycle.
Oh man. Luckily we're going to get a health refill here, so it's not that huge of a deal with the health bar, but
yeah,
definitely some time loss.
He's also probably losing more than 8 seconds here, taking damage twice actually, and he might even take damage again because this is really weird to do now. Okay, yeah. Was looking good for a second, but it's really weird to back up if you already take damage before the first moon there.
Definitely some rough stuff from Sledge in the Wooded Kingdom. Not completely crumbling though, definitely keeping things together. Both players getting the nut clip. You know, no cataclysmic events, no deep woods, so gotta take it with a grain of salt. At least we are keeping ourselves collected as we head into Cloud and Lost.
Yeah, we probably won't see any Cloud and Arts from these runners. But let's see. We see some Cloud boosts maybe. No, not from Trobbin. Actually, to be fair, this fight is more of an auto-scroller than the Ruined fight. people always say Ruin Fight is the auto-scroller, but this one, if you don't make like any mistakes here, it's pretty much... Ooh! I should stop.
That was perfect. I wasn't even looking, but I could just tell from the damage sound and then the oh.
And now I think Trobbin is... Yeah, Trobbin is still ahead, but Sledge definitely closer now.
Yeah, Trobbin regaining control of the fight here, going to be getting the last fast hat, no issues. Definitely giving up a little bit of ground here in Cloud Kingdom, where it's not really super expected, like you were saying before, a bit of an auto-scroller for these higher level runners. You don't see many missed fast hats or anything like that.
Yeah. Like the fight is the auto-scrolling part. Before the fight you can actually go for some different strats and save a second or something, but the fight itself, if you don't mess up, usually always takes like pretty much the same time. 0.5 more or less, but nothing big. But yeah, Lost might be the scariest kingdom because there's pretty much poison everywhere and you can die everywhere. I'm jinxing again, I guess, but not yet.
Yeah, you can die everywhere and you can trigger Klepto in a lot of different variety of fashions as well, which is, you might as well be dead at that point.
Yeah, Klepto is like probably 20 to 30 seconds depending on where you trigger him. Is Klepto even a guy?
That's a good question.
Could also, I mean, it doesn't sound like a female name, but it could be, right?
Yeah, I mean, animal names are a little bit more up in the air for sure.
Oh, and Sledge. That's not too bad, but yeah, having some trouble there. When going for the stone cage. Sledge going for a cage triple here. It's definitely more risky, as you can see.
Oh, yeah.
I think, yeah, he still broke the cage, it's not too bad. Quick reaction there. But yeah, Trobbin probably faster with that stone cage in that case.
What is Trobbin's profile picture? Is that like that weird, like, molding
I
clay
always
stuff?
Thought it was like a sock with eyes on it, but seeing it in higher resolution, it doesn't look like that. I have no idea what it is.
It looks like that, like, I don't know if they had it in Europe, but in the US they had this stuff when I was growing up that was basically like, it was like Play-Doh, but it was like almost like little balls of like plastic. I don't even know how to explain it. I never had any, but it looks like that to me.
Yeah, I have no idea what that is, but yeah. Alright, Night Metro. Also not an easy kingdom. Like also a kingdom where you can easily make like a big mistake and lose a lot of time. Especially in City Hall and Mecha Wiggler.
Yeah, I don't know if I would personally call Night Metro an easy stage, but that's just because I regularly have meltdowns on this myself.
I think the thing is like when you're, I don't know, until probably around, I don't know, 110 level or something, Night Metro is harder than Day Metro, I would say, because it's just, there are more opportunities for big time losses. But once you get to like a higher level, Day Metro is actually way harder than Night Metro, I would say. The only thing in Night Metro is like Wiggler, which can actually lose you a couple of seconds depending on the pattern. But I actually want to talk about something about that, because I was saying earlier that I spent some time on doing something which might be dumb and spending a ton of hours on that. But I've actually been looking into Wiggler patterns recently to find visual cues to make it more consistent.
Hog.
And it's actually interesting because people always said there were 16 Wiggler patterns, but that's actually not true. There are like right now I'm at 22. I think that's probably the right number. I ran Wiggler like 90 times or something, so there were 22 different patterns. So I don't really know where 16 comes from, but it's definitely not right.
I mean, in Mario 64, we thought there was 4 frames for wall kicks for like 15 years. So, well, not that long, but you know what I mean. Up until like a year and a half ago or something like that.
Let me see. Oh, that's the pattern. Is that?
It's a pretty good one. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Sledge getting a good one as well.
I have like a name for every pattern now. This is the hangman pattern from Sledge there.
Oh man, that's a lot of memorization. You gotta memorize 22
it's pretty
different
hard
names.
because you have to not only know what pattern it is, you have to recognize it before it even starts, basically. Like, you can recognize it pretty much the second the Wiggler starts moving. But yeah, memorizing like 22 different patterns is pretty hard. But it pretty much depends on the spot where the Wiggler starts moving. There are 11 different spots where it can start moving, and it can move in 2 different directions for each of these. So there are 22 different patterns.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was... Now I remember what Trobbin's pattern was. Yeah, it takes me some time. Alright, Trobbin getting drive-by here.
See if Sledge can reciprocate the drive-by.
You're going for a setup on the fence there.
Yeah, but does nab it.
Yeah.
I'm glad that somebody in the chat remembers Floam. I did not remember the name of it, but I'm glad I'm not just making that up. Looks just like Floam.
Alright, then Trobbin probably will go for bullet building next. Heading into slots here. First to grab 1 moon and then 2 more. To replace like story moons from the old route. So it's like a few seconds faster. But it's harder for sure.
Yep, nabbing the slots. We've seen some players have trouble with just the slots movement itself, which is not considered to be the hard part of this route, but we'll see if Sledge is able to. Looks like we're good as well.
Grabbing some coins there. I don't know if that was on purpose, hitting those flower pots. It's not even flower pots. I don't know what these plants are, but yeah. Oh my god.
I would be quite surprised. I mean, we only have 34 coins, so I can't really do too much with that. Definitely gonna have to get a hint art.
Getting the capture there. Just the hard part about this building. And Sledge having issues with climbing there. That might be even harder, but it's not too bad when you get your movement you're used to, but once you mess up something, it's so hard to climb up there.
Oh man.
Oh, and Trobbin barely making it there to the other side.
Oh no, Sledge. That's rough. And that's the dangers of the bullet building room. It's quite a bit of difficult movement compared to just talking to some NPCs. It's definitely a step up in difficulty.
That's quite a big lead now. I don't know if Trobbin actually would win this one, and we would still have some more exciting, at least one more exciting race in this group. That would be cool. So yeah, Troy. Probably smart to learn like the hard patterns, because some patterns are like really weird and overlap like 15 times pretty much. And knowing what to do in those situations is probably the most useful. Yeah, pretty rough day metro for Sledge here.
Yeah, I'm not too worried. Sledge is a fierce competitor. I think we can see a comeback for sure. Lots of hard stuff coming up in the coming kingdoms as well. Although Snow, not really known for its huge time losses. Of course, there's Snowdram, but
yeah, Snowdram. Yeah, I mean we're like halfway through the race. Metro is like the halfway point. So there's like nothing decided in this race.
I was never nervous about it before, but a couple times to me in runs, doing those like last little pole vault things where you're like spinning around the poles. I haven't gotten like the Mario magnet hands on the last pole, and just fell all the way down. So now every time I see a runner, like even remotely far away from the pole, I'm just like, my anxiety just spikes.
Yeah, those are really weird. Like you can actually be pretty far away from them and still grab them. Like it doesn't really make sense, but yeah, at some point it's just not enough.
Trobbin has entered the happiest place on Earth here. Going to be skipping over the shop because we are indeed going to grab it later on. It's the Snowdram way. A bit quicker. And Sledge a little bit far behind at this point. Going to have to still grab Captain Toad before entering Shiveria.
Oh, Trobbin not even attempting the clip. Interesting. Normally attempting it isn't too bad. Because, I don't know, it doesn't really lose much time if you miss it. But yeah, it also only saves 1 second if you get it. Well, that's a little short, but yeah. Throwing in another capsule there. That's fine. Let's see if we will see some spiny manipulation here. Not in a great spot. Oh yeah, actually one is pretty good. Ooh, that's kind of weird though. Yeah, it's when it's like pretty much centered there, it can be really weird to knock it off.
I love the winter season Timp lurk emote. For it buried in snow. Sledge going for the snow clip here.
Looking good.
Not quite grabbing it though.
We'll see some Goomba Vectors here. Oh yeah, actually. Nice.
Those were sick.
Always love to see those. Pretty crazy, but with good vectors you can save like over a second there.
Yeah, sometimes you'll see people going for the vectors and it's just like a half-hearted attempt. They're like, alright, I'll kind of jump to the side a little bit. And then sometimes like you see people just like go in like that and it's just like, okay, wow. That is risky.
Yeah, it definitely is. Falling down there is just... You can't even save it. Like if you fall down you can't uncapture because once the Goombas are gone you can't get the moon anymore, so yeah, you have to die as well.
If your Goombas fall, you just back up to ICC, easy clap.
Yeah, that's true. But even that is weird because you pretty much you should grab the story moon first, so you have to go back again, and yeah. It's not great. And Sledge not really going for vectors there.
Wait, can you even make it out of the wall? Can you just jump out of the wall, or is it like a two-way wall?
I don't think you can, but I'm not sure. Probably getting Snowdram, pretty big. That's important. Want to avoid those big mistakes. And I'm not really sure what happened last race for him, but he had a 4:08 seaside, which is like, he lost like close to a minute there. So that could be interesting. But seaside is actually harder than people think.
It's definitely a cardinal sin in speedrunning is to just underestimate a stage or a single individual, you know, moon or something like that, and then turns out, you know, if you just actually focus and try to get optimal lines and try to actually play the game right, you're actually saving, you know, 10 plus seconds over what your goal is.
Yeah. Sometimes you just... Yes?
I gotta go ahead and agree. Seaside Kingdom, kind of snore kingdom. It's got elevator music. I'm not a big fan.
I mean, it's a water kingdom too, and who likes those, right?
I mean, at least it's not like other Mario games where you have like no options in the water, but just to swim around. Like you can capture cheeps and you got gushions and stuff like that. So it's a nice welcome improvement.
Yeah. Trobbin actually showing why this kingdom isn't easy, especially this move is pretty hard. And now you might see some fish and dips. We'll see. Was it attempted? I don't want to spoil myself. We're gonna see.
Looks
Yes,
like
Trobbin attempting it, going for the double bonk, but probably shook too early there.
Unfortunate.
Yeah. Shake timing is quite precise. Giving Sledge the opportunity to catch up a little bit if he gets the clip. Definitely having an easier time on this moon here.
Having to time a clip with shaking sounds like a nightmare, I'm not gonna lie. That sounds absolutely devastating.
Motion control, yeah. I don't think the clip is too bad when you're used to it and focus on it, but yeah. Motion controls in a clip, that sounds like pain, I agree. At least it's a shake and not like, I don't know, a spin throw or something.
So we just need a like modified outboard controller that like simulates shaking motions, and you just like have like a dance pad at your feet. then I'll actually play this game seriously. Until then, I can't get the motion controls to work.
I'm not sure if that would make it easier, to be honest.
No, it probably wouldn't make it easy, but at least it would make like you hit a button and you do a spin throw. I can't do a spin throw to save my life like half the time. I'm like completely inept.
Yeah. I don't know. I think that I find hard, especially, is just like sometimes you get a spin throw instead of an up throw and the other way around, and confuse motion controls, and there are just too many of them, I would say. And they're used so often in these, like in a SMO. You need them everywhere. What's up, Troy?
Trobbin hanging on to his lead so far, entering Luncheon Kingdom, but Sledge not too far behind, still within the margin of SMO error. So we have quite a bit of tricky stuff coming up.
Yeah, especially in Luncheon. Luncheon, like a big choke point in this game. We'll probably not see Spiritless, just the harder route here. But even without it, there's so many stuff that can go wrong. They're looking probably, what is the difference right now? A minute? Yeah, something like that probably. "55 seconds, calling 2 stats. Trobbin heading into this sub area, which has like a really quick moon. It's actually worth going into the sub area just to grab this moon, then go out again. Usually sub areas are almost always like they're only fast when you grab both moons. But in this case, the other moon is actually pretty slow, so you only grab this one, and it's fast enough to still enter it.
Yeah, luckily the developers decided that putting a moon just around the corner was enough to justify a collectible.
Yeah. I mean, it's really hard to find, right?
Yeah.
Like, you would never look there.
What could possibly be around this corner on these platforms that are rising out of the water? Why would I ever go back there? I mean, they got 880 moons. There's only, what, like 12 kingdoms or something like that, so...
Yeah,
they all can't be bangers.
I mean, in sub areas you could be more creative, I think, because there are only 2 moons per sub area. So you could maybe have like, I don't know, a little parkour or something there, at least. But yeah, I'm not a game developer or a level designer.
Not going to be grabbing this, I don't think. Oh, okay, that was a very long range homing throw there.
And here's another sub area, which might be the quickest sub area in the game actually. Fogged really fast sub area.
Yeah, it looks really good when you do it fast like this as well. Although it does make it easier to mess up, but Trobbin not messing it up, gonna be keeping it calm, cool, collected in the force room. Oh my gosh. Dive does make it onto the railing. There's a few places in that force room where it's like relatively easy to just take a bonk and you're losing like 20-30 seconds pretty easily. It's not a short fall.
And now cheese is coming up. Another instance of a little bit of RNG. There are ways to do it pretty much consistently if you're really close to the cheese blocks. Like Trobbin, you could move closer to this one, yeah. When you're close to the blocks, it's easy to hit them. But when you're far away, the pans just go like everywhere and you miss the block you want to hit. Oh, with the roll boost over the gap, really cool.
Dancer not here to post this cheese emote, you hate to see it.
Yeah. Oh wait, I have it. I got a sub gifted. Wait. That is.
Cog.
Yay.
Almost like he's here with us. Probably going to be lighting a torch here, grabbing a moon before heading over to these dangerous mountains. Quite dangerous here. I'm not really a big fan of this area.
Oh, no. Falling down. Won't die though. So it's not too bad, but that definitely loses a couple of seconds.
Unfortunate.
Oh, that's actually pretty. Still goes for the spin through there. If he misses that there, he just falls down and probably dies because he's on 1 HP. I just explained Dancer how it works. Sledge might catch up a little bit this dungeon. Don't think they were like two big mistakes.
I was memeing about Dance to coming in and talking about the cheese.
Yeah, I don't even argue.
It's not even avoidable.
I know I'm right and he's wrong. It's just that simple.
I mean, you are in the commentary booth, so that makes you 100%
Yeah.
right all the time. Even when you're wrong.
We can argue about that tomorrow because we're probably gonna commentate together. Now that's gonna be fun. Wait, what? Oh yeah, we're gonna see cheese in that race for sure.
I guess in the race I'm getting canceled for saying that Austrians are German. Sag.
Yeah, really hyped to see that exclusively German race tomorrow. That would be
What?
cool.
Okay, you can't
only
say it now.
German commentators and German runners, obviously, and a German restreamer as well.
Yeah, I am in fact German.
And a German stats guy, obviously. Only Germans. I was about to make that comment then, so that's gonna be fun. Alright. What's the difference? Okay, we haven't an updated time on Ledge's lunch and exit yet.
While we're waiting on that, I will take a quick minute to shout out the gamers here today. Putting on a good show for us. That is not the command, but there's the correct one. Make sure to go check them out. Drop a follow if you have a couple follows in your pocket. Would appreciate the support for each runner. Also follow me and Lupus on our respective Twitch channels if you so desire.
No.
And of course, we gotta talk a little bit about the Urban Arts Partnership. Just doing a lot for underprivileged youth over in the United States. They're unfortunately not global as of quite yet, but maybe give them a little bit more support. They could expand. They do a lot of work sending those underprivileged youth to college for game design and the arts of game design. So people who would otherwise wouldn't be able to be in a position where they would go to those colleges, they do make that happen for them, and they have a 100% college matriculation rate for all participants in their programs. So do give them a check out if you are interested, if you run fundraisers for them quite frequently. And they're pretty epic. Also, Jason's epic.
Yeah. Pretty incredible. Also shoutouts to Stats Guy.
Yeah, Stats Guy.
Yeah, Trobbin still looking at around a 50-second lead here. But with Bowser coming up and Moon, both Kingdoms would like places where you can lose a lot of time. It's not over till it's over, right?
Correct. I believe the saying is anything can happen in a race. I think that's what I'm supposed to say.
Yeah. I just messed up the order of the words, I think. Right?
No, I was just making fun of the catchphrase of every commentator.
Oh, will we see like a bird ram here? I'm not sure. One of these runners. I think Sledge might do bird ram. We'll see. Trobbin not opting to go for it. Really sad. Bird ram, obviously the way cooler trick than Craze.
It sounds right. There was somebody that did bird jam a while ago, and I think I was commentating, and you were like popping off in the chat about it.
Sledge versus Las Terras was like double bird ram, which was incredible.
Oh yeah. That's true.
I might be wrong on this, but I think it was that race. We definitely had a double bird ram race.
I think you're right.
And I know Las Terras usually goes for it, I think, so yeah. Alright, Sledge. Don't disappoint us now.
Yeah, we know that commentators can never be wrong, so Sledge is definitely going to go for it 100%. I believe. Oh, yep. Here we go. The moment we've all been waiting for.
Isn't that like the greatest trick in existence?
It's pretty cool.
So cool.
Pretty fast.
And Trobbin going for old shards.
Old shards or old new shards?
No, old shards. Like super old.
I don't even pretend to like know. When I first started watching SMO races, I tried to understand, and then there was a new shards, and then I gave up. There was no hope.
Don't even know new shards. What is new shards? I only know new shards and birdless and stuff, but yeah.
I'm pretty sure there's a new shards.
On the synced up cutscenes, but one story moon apart, so around a minute difference.
I'm having a little bit of issues with the Bowser Jam there, but that's not too big of a deal.
For the new shards. Getting the dive back. Oh yeah, that was far away from that shard. Oh, and the bomb as well. And that's the important part, getting up onto the roof here. Okay, let's see if we go for third run. He still goes for it. What? That works? How did that still work? What? There's no way. Okay.
I wish I could tell you. Unfortunately, that trick goes beyond my comprehension of the game, so...
I mean, that was an insane backup. Like, I always thought that would never work, but okay.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good guess. I think Sledge might just be a magician.
He's still behind though, so he needs some magic to bring this back.
I don't know, my entire like knowledge base of SMO speedrunning has been blown open today. Apparently, there is no new shards. Apparently, I just made that up.
Gory down those shards. Oh, we have Hay there, who goes for like incredibly cool shards with the down throw, and then Cappy collects like one shard on the one side while Mario collects the other one on the other side. Which is pretty much similar to 2P shards actually, where you do the same, but you do it in 1P. But yeah, I think Hay there is pretty much the only runner who goes for that. Alright, Trobbin has to get like another moon here. A Sledge already got an extra moon. And Trobbin getting the great moon, which is the fastest moon. I mean, not really. Like, Birdram is actually something that can be almost as fast with the right movement.
Yeah, it's definitely not too slow, but we are heading up into mech fight, which we always hype up as the potential, you know,
run killer
back strat. Yeah, exactly. So this is kind of the position where it like actually is. Like, even just one fall off a mech here can make the difference up.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's that simple. Mech is like a big thing, and you can lose like 20 seconds by falling down, and you can lose 40 seconds by falling down twice, and that stuff can happen. And as we see Trobbin having trouble here, he might get knocked off here by the Wiggler before breaking it. Yes. Will make it back though. But yeah, that already probably lost like 10 seconds there. And he has not fallen off. Also, the climb is also really hard in the beginning. Alright. Big thing is obviously target acquired here, the last phase, where you ground pound Harriet first and then go for a dive onto Speart, followed by a spin pound. If you mess up any of these inputs, you you're pretty likely to fall off. Good setup. Looking good. Whew.
Yeah, there's a very fine line there with target acquired where, you know, you're either gonna get it or you're gonna bonk the wall. And thankfully for Trobbin, able to keep himself grounded on the mech.
Sledge going for top acquired even. Really small optimization. Saves a little bit of time. And definitely with a cleaner climb here. So he will save some time over Trobbin, but it's not quite enough. He definitely needs a big mistake by Trobbin and Moon.
Yeah, and that's certainly possible. I mean, we've even seen people messing up Bowser fights. I think we saw, was it Trobbin earlier in the race? Mess up the Cloud Kingdom
yeah.
boss fight, so. Moon Cave skip, obviously the big one that comes to mind. But even just on pillars, we've seen players make up an insane amount of time that you just wouldn't expect.
Yeah. You can lose 10, 15 seconds on pillars if you're really unlucky and don't really, I don't know, play it well.
Yeah, the RNG boulders coming from the ceiling are pretty good at blocking some shots. For sure.
I'm not sure if they're actually RNG. I think they're always the same.
Are they always the same?
I think it just feels like RNG because you're not always
In the same spot.
speed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could be true.
But I think top runners are consistent. At pillars they're not always consistent, but if they get their strats, they normally don't have issues with the rocks.
I'm learning today. I always learn when I'm
Yes.
on commentary because people get to tell me I'm wrong. I'm not complaining, just to be clear. Like, I do like to learn stuff, but
Wait
I'm
until
learning quite a
you
bit
know
today.
like all 22 Wiggler patterns and how to call them.
oh man,
Nah.
I would have to be commentating a long time to figure that out.
Yeah, and I'm
Commentating
probably
well
the
into
only one who learns
2035.
those. So you would have to commentate with me all the time as well.
You'd be 80 years old commentating in this game. Trobbin. Oh my gosh! I was just
He's
gonna
taking
say,
a death and he's behind now. He's behind now.
Wow. I was just gonna say Trobbin not giving up any ground here, but didn't even have time to curse him.
And this is really close now. This is like less than 10 seconds apart now, but obviously Trobbin behind now and Sledge taking the lead.
That is an unfortunate turn of events for the Trobbin fans in the chat room. Might need a little bit of gamer energy if you have any gamer energy for Trobbin. That's a rough place to lose a lead.
Yes, it's not over though. He has to keep playing, and now he has to hope for a mistake by Sledge. And it hasn't to be like a really big mistake, but yeah, a missed Bowser head, something like that.
Yeah, it's definitely a closer match than when Trobbin was in the lead, but just that's a big momentum shift for sure.
Yeah. That's super unfortunate. I know, you could have played it more safe there, not go like for like a close dive onto the bridge there. But yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, you never really know if these players are watching the race either, and if Trobbin's not watching, that he doesn't know really the amount of time that
That's
he
true,
potentially has. So you're just gonna go for your tried and true, whatever you go for in runs, basically. Which I don't know. I think that's a fair strategy, anyways. I know for me personally, when I do races, even if I'm watching, which is most of the time, I usually just go for whatever I do in runs.
Yeah, true.
It can kind of throw you off if you try to like mix stuff up too much. Like sometimes you would try to go for a safe strat and then you just like fail the safe strat and then you feel like a complete idiot because it's like, all right.
I mean, yeah.
Lost time trying to save time.
I also think you should go for the same strats, but you can go less tighter on some stuff maybe. But yeah, it happened, and now we're probably gonna have some exciting escape here.
Yeah, definitely a lot of stuff on the line here for the escape sequence. We were talking about how much pillars matters, and Sledge gonna have to have a clean pillars in order to close this one out.
Definitely. And there's the V-skip as well.
Oh man. I hope we don't see a 2D skip death.
I don't want to jinx it, but have we even seen a 2D skip death so far in this tournament?
Yeah, I can't call out any specifics, but I'm 100%
Trobbin,
certain.
Okay, he's not dead, but that's a few more seconds.
This is indeed the last match of the day, the last sequence of the run. Both players racing towards the finish line here.
We won't see it, but Trobbin could go for 2 DSS and save around 10 seconds here, but yeah. Pretty sure he's not comfortable with it. It would surprise me at least. Okay, Sledge got 2D skip. Are they going for fast XD here? Yeah, pretty much 1 2D section apart now.
See, I don't even feel bad about like not knowing the names of tricks in this game. We're calling things new shards and XD versus fast XD. Like every single trick in this game is just named after like a meme, or just like.
Yeah, isn't that like? It's always like that. Like names are always memes, right? It's not always, but quite often.
Yeah,
okay,
both
Sledge.
players here into the pillar sequence. Get your cat jams out. Looking like an okay first pillar for Sledge.
Yeah, not great, but it's enough for sure. Trobbin with a better first pillar here. This was a clean one.
Yeah, really close at this point.
Alright, this, yeah, messing up the final pillar a little bit. But yeah, getting it. No invisible wall. And should take the win here and take the second place in the group as well. Really unfortunate for Trobbin here. But yeah, Sledge making it to the next round, and Trobbin is out of this tournament with this loss. GG's.
Yeah, really close race here to finish things off for the day. And I'm glad I had to double check to make sure things were right, because sometimes the sync will desync right at the end, but it is a correct timing here.
That would be something, yeah.
So 102.20 versus a 102.32 doesn't get much closer than that. I mean, we've had definitely some closer finishes, but that's about as close as you can hope for in any given race.
Yeah, for sure. We actually have stats on that. That's like the third closest race in this tournament.
Really? Wow.
Yes.
We've had some
Yeah,
really closes.
1:10 are like 9.8 seconds apart, and 3.8 seconds apart.
Oh yeah, I'm thinking of the B tournament where we literally had like frames apart on that one race.
Yeah, true.
That was pretty crazy. It looks like we will have both players joining us for interviews here shortly, so that is a treat for sure. Unfortunately, the last race of the day, as we did have some pre-recording debacles happen, so we will have a couple... Actually, I think we'll have 4 races tomorrow? Yeah, we'll have 4 races tomorrow, and then I'll probably have some more races on Monday. If you stick around for those, make sure you drop a follow. For now, we're going to bring in Sledge and Trobbin. Welcome in, gamers, to the booth. Sledge, congrats on your victory. How are you feeling about moving on to the playoffs?
Pretty good.
Pog, any thoughts about your run or anything that really stood out to you in terms of like things that scared you or anything like that?
The 503 day metro might have changed the race a little bit.
Yeah, it certainly did. And then Moonskip happened. What happened, Trobbin?
Well, as you know, Trobbin is always a good old term. So I don't think it's escapable. It just happens.
Yeah, for sure. Other than that, like, I don't know. There weren't like too many big mistakes, I think, in this race.
No,
actually
it was
pretty close until Metro. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't do anything too stupid, and then like, yeah, the only big thing was Moon.
Yeah, really unfortunate.
Biggest. Well, this was a pretty good run. There were a few kingdoms with more than 10 seconds lost. Nothing significant though. There was bunnies, luncheon, snow. Yeah, wooded. Oh yeah, wooded. Those bunny time losses.
Yeah. I'm just looking at the stat sheet. Sledge, you will be playing Chaos Springer.
Yeah, I already knew. Yeah, it's over.
How are you feeling
I
about
mean,
that?
that's not for certain. I mean,
I'm sorry for that.
somebody's got to play Chaos.
Yeah, I mean,
Can Chaos get rusty again?
oh, not sure. You would need to make him stop playing somehow, I guess.
Can someone send me his address?
Okay, I don't think we need to go that hard at the metagaming. But yeah, I mean, definitely some hard competition, hard road ahead. I'm pretty excited for the playoffs. I think we almost have the entire playoffs bracket decided. I guess there's a few or a couple more groups that are still undecided. F and G need some matches to be played with. Those will be done tomorrow. So I think, okay, well, it's not gonna be till Monday till we know the full layout, but I'm excited. I'm ready for the playoffs to start. We're gonna take a weekend break, as getting people to play next weekend will definitely be a challenge. So we're just gonna go ahead and skip that whole debacle. But we will be back tomorrow and Monday for more races, and then on the new year we will be back. So do follow the channel if you don't already. We will be rating none other than our tournament organizer, Dansta. So if you guys are Dansta fans, if you like the cheese, if you want to see some amazing cheeses, I'm sure it'll be in luncheon a huge portion of the stream.
Can we make the raid message something with RNG?
Yeah, like cheese is RNG or something like that.
Yeah, that's good.
Feel free to throw that in the chat when you're ready. We're gonna watch a little bit of info about our upcoming marathon at Glitch Infinite, so do check that out if you haven't already. Putting some info in the chat. But yeah, thank you for the race today, gamers. It was a lot of fun, and thanks to Lupus for the comms.
Yeah, was a pleasure. Thanks for having me.